Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and yes, the Steam Spring Sale for the year of 2024 has kicked off. I have no idea why the hell I just said it like that, for the year of 2024. Can I get any more goofy? But there's a lot of great deals available, and just as I said yesterday, the sale is a lot bigger than some of you guys may have anticipated. This is just, maybe not just as big as the summer and winter sale, but really, all it is that it's a week long instead of 2 weeks long, but you still have all the major publishers discounting their games, and we're gonna highlight some deals under the price of $10, but there's a ton more stuff under $10. We're not gonna go under 5 or under 3. We'll have separate videos for those. Obviously, gotta get the mileage out of this sale, gotta bring you guys videos and content, so yeah, links to all of these deals will be in the description box below, so you can check it out there. But let's get right into it, and it's time for our seasonal shilling of Ryuga Gotoku Studios, the developers of Yakuza and the Judgment games. We got Yakuza 0. It is down to $5.99. What a fantastic deal this is. Look, if you have yet to get into the Yakuza games, it's time to slap yourself and buy Yakuza 0 because these games are fantastic. Even if you don't want to take part in the wealth and variety of content that is available in the RGG titles, playing Yakuza 0 straight through the campaign for the story is awesome, and the beat-em-up gameplay, that's a worthwhile experience in its own right, and it's a relatively lengthy game as well, with an awesome story, great characters, and great gameplay as well. For $5.99, it's great. Obviously, after you play Yakuza 0, it is quite the arduous undertaking to play all the RGG games. You've got 0, Kiwami 1 and 2, Yakuza 3, 4, 5, and 6, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth just came out. You have, spin-off titles as well. It's a lot of games to get into if you're looking to get into this franchise. But Yakuza 0 is a contained story that you can also enjoy, but you'll like it so much that you'll play Kiwami right after it. So there you go with that. $5.99 for that. Next up, we got Kingdom Come Deliverance. The base game is 80% off for $5.99, and the Royal Edition is what you should be looking at. That's 80% off for $7.99. That is a phenomenal deal for the Royal Edition. So you get the base Kingdom Come Deliverance with the Royal Edition, and you get all the DLC. The DLC is pretty sizable. Kingdom Come Deliverance itself really relies on its historical aspects, and if you're into the setting and the tone of the game, you're gonna really enjoy it. As some of the gameplay a little bit clunky, sure, but overall, it's a really enjoyable game. A story-driven open-world RPG with a lot of content and an engrossing narrative as well. For this price point, $7.99 for all the content you're getting, I would say it's well worth a pickup, and again, if you're into that historical thematic, you'll enjoy it quite a bit. Next up, a little bit different of a JRPG, we have Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch Remastered, 85% off for $7.49. Ni no Kuni is a really solid JRPG by Bandai Namco as well, with a fantastic art style and a game that has aged fairly gracefully. The narrative is enjoyable. It's not anything that'll blow you away in terms of JRPG narratives, although sometimes JRPGs can get a little bit wacky with their storytelling, and Ni no Kuni, I feel like, was fairly well done, even if it wasn't to blow away. The gameplay fundamentally works fairly well. If you're into JRPGs, you'll enjoy it quite a bit. For $7.49, I think that's a pretty good pickup. Next up, we got DJMAX Respect V, 80% off for $9.99. Now, the thing with DJMAX is, if you want all the content, be prepared to pay an arm and a leg, because the complete edition of DJMAX is 81% off for, what's that price point? $138! Yes, it's quite expensive, but as far as the base game content goes, you do get quite a lot of tracks, and it's an enjoyable music rhythm game. I had a great time with it, and yeah, it is a little dicey if you do want all the content. It is what it is, but for $9.99, I think the base game is a pretty solid pickup. Next up, another RPG here, South Park The Stick of Truth, 75% off for $7.49. I talk about South Park The Stick of Truth quite often because it's a great game by Obsidian Entertainment. Yes, this game was done by the same people that brought you Fallout New Vegas, the same people that brought you Pillars of Eternity, and guess what? They brought you a really great South Park RPG. Once again, very humorous. I'm not a big South Park fan, have nothing against it, but I just never got super into it, but I thought this game was hilarious, and if I thought it was hilarious, if you're into the South Park humor, you'll like it. And the funniest aspect about this game is, outside of everything, it's fundamentally a well-made RPG. It's just hilarious to see South Park executed in a well-made RPG as well, a turn-based RPG. For $7.49, I think it's a great pickup. It's not a super lengthy game, but very much worthwhile to go through. And if you're a South Park fan, again, you'll doubly enjoy it. And even if you're not a South Park fan, you'll probably like it, because I'm not a big fan, and I ended up really liking the game. Next up, speaking of Obsidian, gotta give Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition a shout. 67% off for $6.59. You get Fallout New Vegas, and you got all of the game's DLC content. Look, Fallout New Vegas at this stage of the game has become an absolutely iconic game. People are clamoring for a New Vegas 2 to one day happen. Hopefully that does happen, given that Bethesda, Obsidian, they're all under the same Microsoft umbrella, but New Vegas is a game that has stood the test of time, and it's a game that people look back with absolute reverence. It's a fantastic game as well. A lot of content, and it takes that Fallout gameplay at its core and does it very, very well. With a lot of DLC content, it's one of the best RPGs, quite possibly of all time. There's a reason it's got 155,000 reviews. 96% of those reviews are positive, and even if it's got an 84 on Metacritic, it seems like this is a game that its acclaim has just exponentially increased over the years, and people just look back at it so fondly. Maybe back when it came out, it was a thing of, hey, it's more of the same to Fallout 3, but that's not a bad thing. Fallout 3 was awesome as well, and New Vegas is a great time, so definitely $6.59 with the DLC, a great pickup there. Next up, we got Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown, 84% off for $9.59. A great game from Bandai Namco. Ace Combat is one of those franchises that I feel like doesn't get enough love. I mean, it obviously gets enough love to the point where they've spawned 7 titles, and actually there's been more than 7. I believe there's been quite a few spin-offs and things like that, but Ace Combat 7 is a damn good game. Action flight title. The narrative in Ace Combat really does nothing for me. I go into this game for the action combat, the awesome soundtrack. All of those elements are really, really well done, and for $9.59, I think it's a pretty good pickup, all things considered. Next up, we have Dying Light. The Enhanced Edition is 70% off for $8.99, but you can get the Definitive Edition with all the content, 80% off for $9.99. Dying Light's an absolutely awesome game that has just, you know, Techland did a phenomenal job of keeping this game updated. It came out back in January of 2015, 9 years ago, and it only finished, like, getting updates in, like, 2022. This is mostly a single-player game. Yes, there are some multiplayer elements that are in it, but you're primarily playing this game for the single-player component, and they just continually updated this game for 7 years, even post the release of Dying Light 2. I think the game was getting updates. They did a tremendous job with the game, and even on launch day, it was a great game, great parkour gameplay. The open world doesn't have a ton of size to it in the sense that, you know, compared to some of the open worlds that have come out recently, it's not as big as those, but definitely has a good bit of content. You get the following expansion as well, and visually, it still looks quite good. Runs great on the Steam Deck as well. Most of these games are going to run very well on the Steam Deck. Actually, I think every single one of them are going to run very well on the Steam Deck, so take that for what you will, but Dying Light is deck verified, so that's quite nice, especially for a game of this caliber. Like, it still looks good visually, even all these years later, so definitely for that price point, check it out. Next up, we have Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. It is 50% off for $9.99 for the base game. Kind of wish this was a little bit cheaper, mainly because if you want all the content of the game, you do need to get the special edition, which is $30, which is a little bit too pricey, but the base game still offers a good bit of content. If you've never played Xenoverse, the whole shtick of the game is you create your own character, and the Dragon Ball timeline is going crazy, and you gotta go back through sections of the iconic, you know, Dragon Ball areas, and things are getting distorted, and you have to make sure the timeline goes as planned. It's an enjoyable game with a little bit of grind attached to it, a lot of content in terms of side missions and everything like that. It's an enjoyable game for sure. And it's an interesting take on your traditional Dragon Ball titles and how they do the story as well. For $9.99 for the base game, I think it's a good pickup for the hardcore Dragon Ball fans. You do want to check out the special edition for all the bonus content. You got like Gohan Beast. They added that into it, and you know, that Dragon Ball movie is still relatively recent to add Gohan Beast and all that stuff. But that is DLC content, so just keep that in mind. The deluxe edition is $12, but the special edition has all the newer content as well. They're still doing updates and things like that for that game. I'm like surprised that people are into Xenoverse to that extent. Like, I enjoyed my time with it, but like, yo, the game came out back in 2016, so hey, more power to them. You get a lot of mileage out of your dollar out of the game. Hopefully they do a Xenoverse 3 at some point. I think people would enjoy that, but we'll see if that comes to fruition. For now, Xenoverse 2, $10, pretty good deal there. And lastly, gotta give a shout to Devil May Cry 5. It is 67% off for $9.89. Devil May Cry 5 and Virgil. Great game, awesome soundtrack, great action gameplay. DMC's story, I think, is a little bit too wild for me. Like, I like the action gameplay out of Devil May Cry, and I always will like it from that standpoint. And I think for this price point, it's quite good. Over-the-top action gameplay, just super, super stylish in that regard, and fairly easy to run. The visuals look great, but it's a super fast-paced game, and that frame rate holds up quite strongly, and on the deck as well. Runs great on there for the time I spent on the deck. I played this on the deck and had a really good time with it on there as well. But a great game. $9.89 is a great price point for it, so definitely would check it out. And fantastic soundtrack. Go listen to Devil Trigger. I know a lot of people think Devil Trigger isn't even the best track in the game. A lot of people think like Virgil's theme is the best track in the game, but nonetheless, there's a lot of good tracks in the game. I just really like Devil Trigger, so, you know, kind of a basic one, but nonetheless, it's great, and Devil May Cry 5 absolutely should be in everybody's Steam library. But that will do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals under the price of $10. Again, we'll be covering this sale in depth a lot over the coming days. This is just under $10. We gotta do under 5, we gotta do under 3, all that good stuff. And hey, we gotta do a video on deals with out of price restriction, because there are deals, you know, over 20 bucks, over 30 bucks that are good, but, you know, games that hold up in price. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.